Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive paradigm shift in global finance. We are talking about transforming everyday existing retail merchants into a vast distributed banking network. If you're an investor or an institutional partner eyeing financial infrastructure, you're going to want to pay close attention. We're looking at how to build this network without laying down a single brick for a physical bank branch.
All right, let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap for The Explainer. We'll start with the cash-first bottleneck, move into the branch-light proposition, look at scaling that retail network, break down the layered technology architecture, and wrap up with executing the pilot project.
Starting with Section 1, the cash-first bottleneck, focusing on the global access gap. Because before we talk solutions, we really need to grasp the sheer scale of the problem we're solving today.
I want you to picture a scene. Imagine a busy urban street in a developing market. Bustling street vendors, small shops, and a local convenience store right on the corner. Inside, there's a customer standing at the counter holding physical cash. But here's the catch. There's no bank account nearby and absolutely no branch in sight. Globally, well over 1 billion adults are living in this exact cash-first reality.
So that begs a really provocative question. The gap isn't actually money, right? It's access to the system. These individuals have liquidity. They just don't have an on-ramp. And that's exactly where the next major financial infrastructure battle is going to be won. Not with traditional brick-and-mortar branches, but right there at the retail point of sale.
Let's break down why this is such a massive bottleneck. Getting physical cash into a digital system is honestly just incredibly painful right now. You've got limited branch infrastructure, so people literally can't get to a bank. The cost of cash handling is sky high. Geographic exclusion means people are forced to rely on informal, totally insecure deposit methods. And the result of all that? A massively delayed entry into digital financial ecosystems. For our institutional partners, the fintechs, neobanks, the DeFi platforms out there, this right here is your critical bottleneck. It's the lack of a seamless on-ramp from physical cash to digital value.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 2, the branch-light proposition and the infrastructure shift. This is where we pivot from that problem to a wildly scalable new paradigm.
This is all about what we call infrastructure compression. Just look at the core value proposition for everyone involved. Consumers get instant, local, and totally secure cash deposits right in their own neighborhood without ever needing a branch. Merchants, they're unlocking brand new revenue via commissions. Plus, they get increased foot traffic. And for the financial institutions and investors watching, this is the golden ticket. You're getting a highly scalable, incredibly low-cost cash-in infrastructure by leveraging retail networks that already exist. You're completely bypassing the massive capital expense of traditional branch expansion.
Moving to Section 3, scaling the retail network through flexible service models. Because look, a great idea is basically nothing if it can't scale horizontally across entirely different geographic environments.
Modularity is absolutely key here. You need flexible service models to adapt to different markets. We've got the cashier-assisted model, where a user just shows an app-generated token or QR code at checkout. We've got agent mode retailers and standalone smart kiosks, which we'll compare in a second. And then there's this brilliant offline first mode. If you're in an area with spotty internet, transactions just queue up securely and sync the second connectivity drops back in. The system adapts to the environment, not the other way around.
Let's actually contrast two of those models because it really highlights the scalability. On one side, you have agent mode retailers. Think designated human merchants handling high transaction volumes with human-driven compliance workflows. Perfect for community-centric areas where trust and a friendly face really matter. On the flip side, you have automated smart kiosks. These are self-service machines deployed in high-density areas using biometric or app authentication. By blending these two, institutions can scale seamlessly across totally different infrastructure maturity levels.
Next up, Section 4. Layered technology architecture, bridging cash and digital. For the technical partners listening, this is how all of this is actually orchestrated under the hood. Let's look at how these 5 layers stack up to seamlessly connect physical cash with digital rails. Layer 1 is the user interface, smartphone apps, basic feature phone USSD menus, or the POS terminal itself. Layer 2 handles transaction orchestration. It's generating those secure tokens and routing the data. Layer 3 is your absolute shield, compliance and risk running constant KYC, AML, and fraud detection. Layer 4 is settlement, easily plugging into traditional banking transfers like ACH, real-time payments, or even blockchain networks. And Layer 5 wraps the whole shebang up with merchant integration using POS APIs and SDKs. Seriously, it is a masterclass in interoperability.
All right, final piece of the puzzle, Section 5, executing the pilot project,
focusing on accountability and speed, because a brilliant tech stack means nothing without the operational rigor to actually pull it off.
For the investors watching, a strict RACI matrix like this is your peace of mind. Every single work stream has strictly defined roles. For product design, the product team does the work, but the chief product officer is ultimately on the hook. Merchant onboarding is driven by business dev, with the head of partnerships held accountable. Tech integration, the engineering team, and the CTO. Compliance is locked down by the compliance team and the chief compliance officer. And pilot ops are run by the operations team with the COO accountable. This structure means zero ambiguity. It guarantees speed and strictly controlled risk while you're rolling this out.
And that accountability feeds directly into an escalating project governance cadence. You've got weekly sprint reviews and metric checks for rapid issue resolution. Bi-weekly, there's cross-functional alignment and merchant performance reviews. Monthly, the heavy hitters step in for executive steering, risk audits, and deep financial analysis. And then quarterly, you hit the strategic reviews and make the big scaling decisions. It's an engine built for continuous feedback and disciplined institutional-grade scaling.
Okay, let's bring this whole thing full circle. Remember that customer at the urban convenience store we talked about at the beginning? The one holding cash, totally disconnected from the system? Well, look at the reality now. Thanks to this branch-light infrastructure, that exact same customer just walks up to the checkout, hands over their cash, the cashier scans a token, and boom, their phone lights up, instantly. The funds are secure, digitized, and ready to be used in the global economy. The access gap is bridged right there at the checkout counter. Which leaves us with this absolutely massive takeaway. The future of banking won't be built with more branches. It will be embedded. Branch-light retail cash-in isn't just a slightly more convenient service, it's the ultimate gateway from cash-heavy economies directly into digital prosperity. We are literally embedding financial access into everyday moments and everyday places. So as we accelerate into a fully digitized financial future, you have to ask yourself, is your local corner store about to become the most important bank branch in the world? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Catch you next time.